Hello and
Hello.
welcome. No, I wasn't saying it to you.
I wanted to join in.
Oh, right, you were joining in. I thought you were responding. Fair
No, I
enough.
was joining
And,
in. I
and
thought I'd
welcome
mix it
to
up.
the Shadowcast Overshadow. Thumbs up
Thumbs up.
with me,
With Thomas Anderson and myself, Abigail Mowat,
and you're here as well
with a sore arm.
because you just got stabbed.
Technically, yes, but
Yeah,
it
see,
was
you got
it.
stabbed.
No, I got my so a second dose of the vaccine today.
Your second jab.
Yeah, so my arm's a bit sore, and
Mm.
I also had a nap.
Yeah, you'll be tired.
I actually just like got home and I just was like, oh, there's the couch, sleep.
Anyway,
Between that and having my tooth out.
it was a
Did
compact.
I have my tooth out last time we talked about this?
No, it was a compacted wisdom, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't compacted. It was just a wisdom tooth that needed to come out. It had a hole in it.
It come through with a hole in it.
No, it developed a hole because it came through in an awkward position.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It might not be impacted or compacted, but it was coming through in a weird way. It
Yeah,
probably would have had to come out anyway because it was all
it was
you were
basically
telling me it was
pointing.
angled.
It was pointing to east. It was pointing the way of east. It was not pointing the way of south.
No, because what?
West.
What?
Never eat shredded wheat. I'm thinking of like normal teeth come down. This tooth was pointing out to the left hand side.
You can't compass point teeth.
I was trying to explain it.
Well, you can't compass point teeth because your head moves. Technically, the tooth would then be like a.
Oh, people would know what I meant.
My tooth always points north, so I always know where I'm going. Really, honest to God,
That's one way
they
of
didn't have
following
a
your head.
clue what you meant. They didn't have a clue. Was it growing towards your cheek?
Yes.
Right, that see that. Why would you not say that? Why would you say? Oh my! Why would you say east or west? If you
Nobody
right,
warned me about the ice pick thing.
is that a code? Am I supposed to say the
No,
weather's
no,
lovely this time of year in Belgium?
it was like a pointy instrument. It looked a bit like what I would presume is an ice pick, and I had to close my eyes after that because it was such a weird sensation.
What are you talking about?
Having your tooth out is such a weird sensation.
Right, so you're not talking about the right? Okay, so that could have been the vaccine. They injected it with a ice pick.
No, but it was such a, and I felt bad because I must have been making some really weird faces because I kept my eyes closed the entire time, and the dental nurse like was poking me and went, are you okay? I was like, oh. It was freaky because it almost felt like the other tooth was going to come out as well,
What other tooth?
like the molar at the back next to it.
Well, yeah, because they're ripping out an anchored tooth that's anchored to the bone, so the other teeth anchored to that bone will start to.
It was a big tooth. I didn't realize
Mm,
just how big teeth are. Because I'd only
yeah,
ever seen
because.
like the tippity toppity bit of it. Because it never
Mm,
came through properly. It only
mm,
partially came through.
mm,
That's why it was so awkward.
mm.
And then had like this massive tooth afterward. I was like, oh my god.
Because it anchors into the jaw.
Yeah, but like I have not seen that many pictures of like teeth, if you get my meaning.
Right.
In like the jaw, like an X-ray.
Hmm.
I don't like looking at stuff like that. It freaks me out a little bit, so I kind of stay away from it. But it's out now, and it feels really weird. Because it feels like almost it's got the same sensation of like a tooth coming through. Like you just like you want to gnaw on it a little bit. Maybe that's just
No,
me.
no, that's just you. I don't usually spend most of my time at home eating my own face,
No, it's like when your tooth comes through. If your tooth's
which
coming
hasn't
through,
happened to me in what, 18 years?
yeah. But when my wisdom teeth were coming through again, because they come through like they start coming through every few months. I feel like I need to like chew on my gum almost, or my cheek rather.
You just have cyclical wisdom teeth that just like you take one out, another one grows in.
No, I've still got three teeth. I've still got three wisdom teeth. That was my first ever tooth out. Was that wisdom tooth?
But you're saying, but I'm asking if the others have grown in yet.
Bottom left partial, top right partial, bottom right. I don't think that's come through yet.
And you're 47.
I am not 47. Stop telling people it's not my real age.
Stop telling people 47 is not your real age. Okay.
No, stop telling people what
I
my
can
brain
actually see her
broke.
try to work out how to say this.
Stop
Stop
telling
me.
people I'm not the age I'm not.
No, no, that's not.
Stop
No.
telling people that Stop telling people my age is the wrong age.
Again, no, that's not it.
Stop telling people. Stop lying about my age.
You could have just said stop pretending I'm older than I am, or
Stop
stop
lying about my age.
spreading
You once told people I was.
fictitious.
You once told. How old was I? You were telling people I was 42 and I was 24.
Yeah.
And then you forgot you told people that.
I forgot I told people that. So when I said, yeah, I'm just popping around to Abigail's to play some games, they just all looked at me like, 45-year-old woman doing inviting you around to play games. What? Which I thought was sexist because I was 63 at the time.
How old were you?
63. What were we actually,
I don't know.
what have you been doing with your day? I watched the F1. We laughed at
I hate F1.
a guy. Oh, today was actually pretty interesting. We laughed at somebody, which was funny.
Well, we went.
He
Oh, sorry.
he cut the white line going into the pit lane for his first pit stop. He got a 5-second penalty. And then he cut the line again going in for his second pit stop. But it was such an audacious cut. It was like, he must not understand the rules.
None of this makes any sense to me.
You to prevent you from just wildly throwing yourself into the pit lane, which is potentially dangerous. The idea is you're not allowed to cross into the pit lane line to
Yeah.
go to the pit lane. But the problem with that is that the racing line on that track has people go through the pit lane entrance anyway.
Yeah.
So why would you then punish this guy for cutting it when everybody else is? And he's so very clearly pitting because the angle's all wrong. It was like a minor little thing. I didn't think they needed to do that. They gave him 5-second penalty. Somebody else was speeding in the pit lane, which is dangerous. He got a 5-second penalty. How does that make sense?
I don't know, because I do not follow F1.
No, I'm asking you in a point of logic. How does it make sense that somebody doing something potentially dangerous receives the same punishment as somebody doing something that is just bureaucratic?
I do not know.
It's like if I reported the wrong tax and got sent to prison for murder. You get 25 years because you filled in this form incorrectly.
That is
That
a
guy's
terrifying
stabbing that
prospect.
man. What?
It's a terrifying prospect. Like, if you accidentally make a mistake on a tax form, you can get into serious trouble.
Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. They chase down these people that aren't paying tax and go, oh, you're a very nutty boy. But they don't actually bother to find the people who actually are avoiding paying billions in tax.
Yep. I went to 2 museums today. The first one said it was open and it turned out it was shut. The second one turned out you needed to book tickets in advance and they were sold out. I was very upset. Then I
Yes,
went
you told me that they were both shut. Yeah.
Yeah, then no, one was shut, the other one wasn't. You had to book tickets in advance.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were shut to the general public then, to the foot traffic.
Yeah, you had to book tickets. But then we went for a walk along a beach, which was nice. The food along that beach was extortionate. Genuinely extortionate. I'm like, whatever happened? Genuinely, whatever happened to get a punnet to fish
Excuse me?
fish and chips for like £4.50?
Excuse me? A punnet of wet in the what now?
Fish and chips for £4.50.
I'm not sure if it's a punnet.
Well, a plate of fish and chips or a box of fish
Poke.
and chips.
It's a poke.
Whatever. Fish and chips like £4.50. Everything's like £10-15 now. Also, they had like a pizzeria down at the waterfront. I'm like, it's Scotland. It's supposed to be fish and chips. Maybe
Yeah,
a
but
sausage supper, but that's about it.
What about me, who can't eat that?
You can have some salt.
Can't eat that.
You can have some vinegar.
Can't eat that.
You eat the sauces.
Mostly made of vinegar.
Why can't you eat vinegar?
Because if you just ate vinegar, you'd probably be sick. It would probably act like salt water or something similar.
Why can't
where
you eat
just
fish and
vomit it back
chips?
up.
Is it the grease?
Yeah, they're too fatty. My body just rejects it and I start feeling really sick.
Oh, that's not nice.
It's batter usually. It makes
Yeah.
me feel quite ill.
Oh, I get that
maybe
sometimes.
I can sometimes get away with chips, fish and chips,
Yeah.
but not the fish, which is a shame because I really like it. But I can't eat it. I start feeling sick.
Why have
And
you
it's
took
got
the
to the point
batter
now
off?
where, well, it's already cooked in it. It's just it's there. The oils are there. But what's the point in ordering it then? But if you eat that, the oils in the fish mixed with the oils in the cooking fluids mixed with the fats in the batter, I just start feeling really ill. And it's a shame because I used to enjoy it, but now I've gotten to the stage where if I was to eat it, I think I'd start to feel sick straight away. That's
Yeah.
my body's way of saying you can't eat this, remember? There's some people who start viewing some foods as not food because it's the only way they have mentally to deal with not the fact they can't eat it.
Yeah.
So to them, it's just cardboard. It's not food.
Anywho, what have you been playing? Because we took a very
I
large
might be able
deviate.
to eat. I think I might be able to get away with haggis.
Haggis is nice though.
I have haggis because while it is, battered and all the rest of it, the batter to haggis ratio is different than on
Yeah.
fish. And it's also the haggis itself is not full of oil,
Mm-hmm.
unlike a fish, which is normally good for you, but if you fry it, that's not good for you. So it's sometimes I can get away with that. I wouldn't go with a saveloy, I don't think. I think that would be too much because of the fact that it's a sausage.
It's too salty.
Yeah, and I can't eat lots of salt. I get quite unwell if I eat lots of salt.
I think most people get quite unwell if they eat loads of salt.
If I eat, so I don't add salt to my food, even when cooking sometimes, because it can be too much for me.
What a bland existence.
Well, that's what I've always misunderstood. Misunderstood? That's what I've always been confused about. If you put salt and pepper on everything you cook, it all tastes like salt and pepper.
No.
And bland is when something tastes of nothing. Nothing tastes of nothing. Everything tastes of something. But our brains removes the standard basic background radiation flavor. And so therefore logically, if you salt and pepper everything, everything tastes bland because that's the background flavor of everything and then your brain removes it. That's why people who do that have to add more and more. I knew a guy when I was a kid who he accidentally emptied the salt cellar all over his food.
Oof.
Stirred it in and ate it all.
Oh, why? That
Yeah.
sounds disgusting. I'd be sick.
He's a
I'd be physically
salt
sick.
vampire from Star Trek.
I think I remember
Must
that
be.
episode.
Must be. Must be a salt vampire from Star Trek. Must be.
Shall we talk about what we've been playing?
No.
Why?
No. Well, I am quite interested in what you've been playing actually.
This week.
Because I have no idea what it is. Or do I?
Yes, you do, because I played with you. We played
Oh,
Halo.
yeah, I was wondering if it would be something else you would talk about.
No, that's the only thing I've played this week, because
Okay.
it's been a bit of a hectic week.
I don't know why I'm nodding like that makes sense. I have no idea why your week's been hectic. But, yes, of course.
So, we played some Halo, did we not?
Wait, let me, oh,
That's not
you
my
ruined it.
fault.
You ruined my joke.
How did I ruin your joke? There wasn't even a joke to begin with.
You said we played, and I was going to say, wait, let me see if I can guess.
I don't know what's
don't-
going on.
That's exactly what, yeah. Okay, so in my head, this went, you would say, we played, and I said, wait, let me guess. And then eventually you would say, wait, you were there.
Wait. You... you were there.
It doesn't work at all. Fair enough, if there's a point at which you take a few seconds to remember I was there, so therefore technically that's not me guessing. But we're now at the stage where it's not funny because you've just not thought it through. It's now more concerning that you might have really been brain damaged at some point. Yeah, the joke wasn't worth it, but I'm trying to work out exactly how we went this far down this dark rabbit hole of that joke not working.
I don't know, but we've been chatting like this for roughly 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just trying to work out why that went so far down the rabbit hole of it not. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I dropped a pin. I don't know where it is, and I've got bare feet. I'm quite scared now. Oh, I found it. I got it.
All right, Gran.
We have been playing Halo. We played
I'm having
the
to reset.
multiplayer of
I'm having to
the Pillar of
reset my
Autumn.
I'm having to reset my internal calibrations here to try and make up for the fact that I think that this vaccine has had a little sort of tiredness, say, sort of drowsy effect. I'm not really convinced you're 100% there.
I am 100% here.
There's no way that you would have just sat there looking at me for 5 minutes trying to work that out. No way. No way.
I am here.
But what is here? And is the
Here
that
is
you see real?
here is in my parents' house. I dropped the pin again.
Oh, yeah, you're really convincing nobody at the minute that you...
It has fallen to the ether. If you hear a loud yelp, that's me standing on it. So like I was saying, we played a couple of multiplayer missions for the Pillar of Autumn
What?
in Halo.
That sentence doesn't make... We didn't do missions for the Pillar of Autumn.
We did. No, I said we played a multiplayer in the
We
Pillar
played
of
a
Autumn.
multiplayer.
Is that not what it's called? We did a multiplayer mission for the Pillar of Autumn.
No.
Well, what's it called then?
Are you sure you're feeling all right?
I'm okay. I feel like I'm going crazy because I thought that's what it was called.
I'm just worried. It's like stroke levels of discombobulation here.
I'm
I'm
not
just a little bit worried.
discombobulated. Don't believe
No, I'll give
him.
you that. No, I'll give you that because there's no way that normal Abigail can say discombobulated. So you're not discombobulated, Abigail. You're not Abigail. Who are you and what have you done with her?
Listen, okay.
Just to
I
put,
am
just going to
fine.
interject there. She did laugh between me saying "What have you done with her?" and then saying "Listen." There was laughing. She doesn't laugh into the mic, at
I'm
least from what I
fine.
heard.
Do you know what's really interesting? Genuinely. I'll
Art,
tell people my
Sky.
name. I'll tell my people my name is Abigail.
I'll tell my people.
I tell people my name is Abigail, and they don't hear it as Abigail. They hear it as Annabelle. But these are completely different people. But it's always Annabelle.
Hey, what's your name?
Abigail.
Annabelle.
No,
There's no way that sounds like Anna. That doesn't make sense. Abigail. You're clearly pronouncing a G, and they say Annabelle.
yeah, but like loads of people do that. Like people who don't know each other do that.
Well, my second name becomes Sanderson quite a lot.
Maybe because of the S.
I'm a Sanderson. Hmm. But yours is just nuts. I don't know how people are hearing Annabelle from Abigail.
It's really strange.
Are they all foreign? You're foreign.
I'm not foreign.
You talk foreign.
Yeah, but still, no matter what my accent is, Abigail does not sound like Annabelle.
Yes, but possibly to them if they are really stupid.
They're not, though.
Hmm.
So, like I was saying, can I get back
The
to
button
Halo?
is in order here.
Can I get back to Halo, please?
What you're trying to say is we cooperatively played the first mission on Halo Combat Evolved called the
The
Pillar
Pillar of Autumn.
of Autumn.
Yes, and we tried to do it as quickly as possible twice in a row.
Well, no. The first one was let's just play, and then I had an emergency and had to run away, and you just jumped around my head for like 20 minutes.
Yes, and
And
then
then we played
played.
as fast. What are you doing? As fast as we possibly could.
Yes, and I got lost many times.
Mm.
Even though we've played that mission the most out of all of them.
Yeah, it was things like follow the green arrow. What green arrow? The green arrow you can see. Which green arrow? Hold on. If you can see a green arrow, just there's only one.
Yeah, but the problem is the fact it just gives me a location. It doesn't say take this route and I end up at a wall.
It's not the most complicated of pathing systems.
When it's dark and I don't know where I am, yes it is. Especially if I keep jumping to you. I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
Well, that does make sense.
It's
an
hate
older
it though.
game. They couldn't load up the entire map in one go, so you're not able to run from one end of the mission to the other and leave the other person behind because the console couldn't have done that. So it fires you to each other when you hit checkpoints.
But it's annoying.
Yeah, it is that. But if I'm being honest, I think we did. I don't think I've done many Halo 2 co-ops, but that I can remember actually. If I'm being honest, I probably have. I just can't remember them. But I do remember doing a Halo 3 co-op. Oh, what 2011, 2012, something like that. Yeah, and 2010, and. You know how sometimes it jumps you in Halo when you're driving a vehicle and it'll dump their passenger?
Yes.
It doesn't do that after the first game.
Well, that's good.
And it will warp the whole vehicle. But the warping, it's bigger areas. You're not being warped constantly, so it's better. It's just the limitations of the console they built that one for. Because that was their classic Xbox.
I've still not finished the third game yet.
Mm-hmm. Which I think somewhat signifies your opinion of it, because you pretty much played through the first and second ones.
To be perfectly honest, I had quite a lot of time.
Ah, yes, okay. That's
and
fair
then
enough.
stuff
That
got
makes
in the
sense.
way and I couldn't dedicate as much time to that, so I stopped playing it.
You should possibly go back and restart 3, because I
Yeah.
don't know if you're going to be able to follow it after like 6 months.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Especially considering that most people's brains aren't like mine.
Thank goodness.
You know, there's only one Batman. But I
But
just don't
many
think most people will
voices.
remember it. Well, of course, yeah, Batman has many voices in his head. Shh, Robin, don't say that.
There was never a Robin to begin with.
No. Alfred's just a portrait of his dad that he walks around the house with him.
No, Alfred's just a portrait of Colonel Sanders.
It's yeah. Alfred keeps bringing him food at night. In other words, the delivery man appears from KFC, gives him a bucket of chicken.
I saw a post the other day on Facebook saying they've never poorly cast Alfred. Like, it's never
Yeah.
been a bad casting of Alfred. I agree with that statement.
In fairness, though, the casting of Alfred is always attached to a reasonably good casting of Batman. On you go.
George Clooney.
Yes, his Alfred was cast at Michael Keaton.
Okay, right.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not the same.
Yeah. No, yeah, okay, I get that.
And I think George Clooney is really the only bad Batman.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I mean, you've got a question about Adam West, but
Okay, no, that's not fair because that was like this. That's a TV show. That was like
that
that's like the 50s, 60s
no,
television
that's
series.
the point. Is that they turned him into
Caricature.
because of the 60s, they turned him into a goody two shoes caricature. And to be honest with you, Adam West could probably have played that character either way.
Adam West was just so
It
funny.
wasn't the writing. Sorry, it wasn't the casting that was the issue there, or the acting. It was the writing. It was the writing that was the problem.
What I loved about Adam West was that whenever he did a voice part, they would always hark back to Batman. You know what I mean?
Mm.
There was a series called Fairly Odd Parents, and he had
Yeah.
a reoccurring character, and it was a Catman or something like that,
Right. Okay.
where he was just always dressed up in the cat suit, and he thought that
And it
he thought he was
was
an actual superhero.
yeah. See, I disagree. You tried to say there that the TV show doesn't count. I disagree because the animated stuff is a lot of that is TV, and I don't think they've cast a bad Batman or Alfred. And I mean, I've not seen things like The Brave and the Bold, but I've only heard good things about that.
The only thing I know about the animated series is that Mark Hamill plays the Joker, is the voice of the Joker.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he is such a good voice actor. I've seen him
Hmm.
in so many things as a voice actor, and it's just phenomenal how good he is.
He's actually he got I think he got the casting for the Joker because he got the casting for a different character in the animated series. He was
Oh,
just playing about with voices. It was a different character that was only in one episode, but he was playing about with the voices. That episode actually won an award or was nominated for like an Emmy or something like that because it was
yeah.
so good. And he was playing about with voices, and he just came out with this huge big laugh, and they just went, "We need you to come back."
Hmm.
And he got the Joker, and he apparently he developed the laugh when he was driving to work, and he just was laughing his head off in like a traffic jam with all these people looking at him while he was giggling his head off practicing his laugh.
Ah, that Mark Hamill, he's lost it finally.
Yeah,
He
that
was
Luke
also
Skywalker laughing his head off. What's going on there?
he was also one of the first I think the first time I noticeably knew it was him in a voice acting role. Because I've never actually watched Batman. I've only ever seen clips of it. Was in Adventure Time. He played a
Right.
character called the Fear Feaster, which basically, if you ever watched Adventure Time, is a bit got Finn Martin, who's like I think he's supposed to be 12 when the series starts, but he's like afraid of the ocean, and like this purple smoke comes like out of his belly button, and it's called the Fear Feaster, and it just constantly tells him how much of like a lame kid he is for being afraid of the ocean, and that he's terrified of it consistently. But it's just so funny because
He is.
when I
Sorry.
realized, but there was a moment where I was watching, it's like, this voice sounds very familiar. So I had to look up. I was like, oh my goodness, it's Mark Hamill. I was like, oh, that is, oh, it's just oh, it's so funny.
He is in a show called Invincible at the moment, the superhero take.
I've not seen it.
It's sort of like there's a lot of superheroes in it, so I kind of got a wee bit reminded of, if you're talking about volume, it might be closer to something like X-Men,
Right, okay.
but it's not like that, I think it's a take on something like the Justice League,
Mm-hmm.
because instead of Wonder Woman, there's War Woman,
Ah,
but it's very adult, so it's full of,
it's a
it's
mature
not so
show.
much, no, it's not full of kinky adult stuff, it's full of blood and guts,
Right, okay.
because they've got superhero powers, so they can literally punch
Yeah.
people into mush.
He was
But
also,
he's in that. He's good. He's not a superhero in that. He's just a regular Joe. He was also in. He was the voice of the Watcher in the video game Darksiders.
right. He was also in a guest starring role in The Flash as the toy maker. I think that's what he was called. but it was very much the Flash version of the Joker. That's how I would have described it.
The Toy Maker.
Yeah, I think that's what his name was. He made toys that were effectively like explosives.
There's a superhero, Superman villain called the Toy Maker, but I think there might also be one for the Flash.
No, there is.
Yeah. I'm
But
just wondering if possibly he was fighting Superman's Toy Maker.
plus,
That's what I'm trying to work out.
because Superman's like Superman's DC, isn't it?
So's
Superman.
Flash.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's like the Arrow's DC and all this kind of stuff.
Aye.
Because they had but he was really good in that. I used to watch The Flash and Arrow and all that kind of stuff a lot, and then I just got bored of it. I got bored of The Flash because they really, really took the mick out of the multiverse, in my opinion.
That was when I stopped watching Legends of Tomorrow. They seemed to take away the English actor I really liked, which annoyed
Arthur
me.
Darvill.
Yeah, they took him away, and that really annoyed me. But what really got to me was when I hit the multiverse episode, and I couldn't get any of the stuff it was multiversed with. I didn't have a clue what was happening. Because I couldn't watch the previous shows that were multiversing together.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a clue what was going on.
What absolutely blew me away of Legends of Tomorrow was effectively it was Doctor Who.
Aye.
You had an English guy in a long trench coat who was part of the time whatever they were.
But I didn't think that was a big deal. I thought that was okay.
I couldn't know, but the fact that he was also in Doctor Who, I couldn't stop laughing over that.
I thought it was good. I genuinely thought that it was better than I didn't like it as much when they took him out.
Yeah. Did he ever come back?
I only saw the first season and a half or something like that.
I think I watched a little bit more than that. I think eventually he did come back, but I've not watched it since. There's so many secret English actors in that show. It's very interesting.
Really gets to me about DC, and I've used the phrase, is it just how punch drunk DC are in the movie sphere?
What do you mean by that?
Well, they can't combine their TV with their movie stuff because the TV actors aren't good enough. So they have to use the not across the board. And they have to, so as a result, or they do it in it's not movie, like TV, it's not movie. You could have Tom Welling in a movie.
Yes.
You could even have this current Superman from Superman and Lois or whatever it is. But I think I've seen a couple of scenes with Supergirl or that Batwoman actress or something like that, and it's just not right. It couldn't be expanded to a Marvel-esque movie sort of sphere and still work quite as well. But when you look at the quality that they had when it came to their movies, they absolutely ruined it. I didn't like the Flash casting, never did. But my real, I actually think Wonder Woman, could have hired somebody that knows how to actually act. But my real issue with it was the fact that the writers just didn't know what they were doing. They took every single wrong turn.
Sure, I for the Flash, I quite liked the characters like Barry. I thought that he was entertaining. I am really struggling to remember the name of the actor that plays the professor or whatever his name is. The guy's in the wheelchair at the beginning.
What?
The guy the Flash.
Are you talking about the TV show?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Flash one. That's what I was trying to tell you. Is I've only seen bits and pieces of the TV
Oh, I
shows.
thought you said I thought you said you didn't like it. I thought you said it was bad.
I've seen bits and pieces, and I said it's not good enough to be transferred to a movie.
I would say that actually the guy who plays Barry Allen is actually very good.
Absolutely fine. I was talking more specifically about a couple of the women that I just don't think could be transferred across the movies properly.
I just don't think they can't write for women characters. They just don't know how to do it.
Well, they also can't direct for them then, because it was some of the choices the actors were making just didn't make sense. But the writing, the story choices for it's just terrible. Like the Superman story or the Batman, it's just rubbish. That's all I can put it is they made every single wrong decision. Like the Aquaman movie is basically a rip of the animation Throne of Atlantis, which is essentially a movie version of the comics sort of stories. So they're basically just banking on nobody having seen the animation. But your hardcore fan base will have seen the animation.
Yeah.
And it's not like your normal, like, finding his powers part. That part's essentially done after 5 minutes, or finding his feet as a hero. It's entirely what's going on, who done it. It's intrigue based. Yeah, that part of the story has to be either really well done or different from what people have seen before, and it wasn't.
It's like when they made a live action version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because what you've just said is effectively what happened there. They were banking
And
on people never seeing the TV series.
do you know what really got is it's still better than what they did with the last three Star Wars movies.
No, I disagree.
Go on.
Because at least with the last 3 Star Wars movie, they tried to keep it within the realm of Star Wars reality, if that makes any sense. Like the rhythms that they went by were the same.
Not convinced of that.
From my point of view, at least they kept lightsabers the same. Lightsabers were effectively the same. The Force was the same.
Right, so what did they change in the...
Everything! They had, right, in the animated series of Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Right, sorry, you're confusing me. I'm not talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender because I've not seen either of it. I was talking about DC.
Yeah, but I'm talking about what you're describing with Aquaman and the animated series is the same as, like you say, they were banking on nobody have ever seen it.
No, I'm talking about the fact that they made every wrong decision in the DC movies that they could have.
Okay.
And yet they still did a better job than Star Wars.
Oh, I thought you were saying they did that Avatar: The Last Airbender movie was better than Star Wars. I was like, no.
No, because I've not seen the movie, so I can't say that.
Don't watch
I'm talking
it.
about the DC stuff compared to the Star Wars
Okay.
stuff. Star Wars stuff is just, it's not worth watching apart from Rogue One.
I didn't like Rogue One.
Yeah, I know, but I'm smarter than you.
Thanks. We've gone on such a tangent. Is there
Yeah,
any
so we're
point of
playing
actually?
Halo.
Is there any point in actually continuing the gaming
Yes.
side of things?
Yes, come on, talk about Halo for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got lost a lot.
What was it like playing again?
It was good. I didn't get confused with the buttons as much as I thought I was going to.
Nope, that's true.
I got a very good sticky bomb on an elite.
You got a great one, but it's not a sticky bomb.
Sticky grenade.
Yes.
Yay.
You can just call it sticky. You can just call it a sticky, but grenade might help anybody who doesn't know what a sticky is. Sticky grenade. I used to call them flare grenades when I was a kid
That sounds more better.
because it sounds more better. Because they let off like a sort of blue smoky
like,
light
yeah.
in the old graphics. They don't do it in the new one, but in the old one they were sort of like blue fire before they went off.
Yeah, well, I got a very good one and I recorded it and I sent it to you.
Yeah, you it stuck him like in the face or something like that, and then he ran back to all of his mates and blew up like 12 of them.
Yay, me. The speed run wasn't as good.
No, we struggled with that room where you got that, where you're there on a ground floor and they're one floor up.
Yeah.
Which is quite difficult. It's probably the hardest room in that mission, or the hardest fight, and you cleared it easily with that grenade. The second time round, we had to actually shoot them all.
Yeah, so it was a lot more difficult, but it was good playing it again. It really was, because I'd missed it.
Mm. Yeah.
I missed
Yeah,
being on the same side as you. I'm not
it's
as
easier.
I'm not as anxious.
It's easier, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were fighting that Red Elite and I jumped over the top of the deployed shield just to like go boo for no reason? But when I landed, I had 1 pip of health and no shields and no ammo. I'd used all my ammo. So he had no shields either, but I couldn't reload because it was taking too long. So I was trying to bash him. But because he kept trying to reload before I was trying to melee attack him, he'd basically... I'd press the button and it would take a little bit of time to do the attack because he would be reloading.
Yeah.
And so the elite would step slightly out of range. So I was just basically running around him in a circle, shouting for help, waving my gun in his face. Until you came and killed him and saved me.
I know, I saved you for like the first time ever.
But in fairness to me, I did distract him a lot.
Yes, you did. You were very good. What else is that all we did when we played Halo? I feel like there was... Oh no, we also did a customs match against each other.
Yeah, we did swords.
Swords.
And it was like 8-6 to me. Not a big deal.
Yeah, but there was a few times where I thought I had just died by myself, but I took you with me.
Yeah, like the best one was when I was standing looking down on you about to jump and swipe and you were a floor below.
Yeah.
and you looked up and saw me and threw a grenade, and it stuck right to the center of my visor. So I only knew I was looking at you because the reticle went red. I couldn't really see you,
Yeah.
and then I took you down and then blew up.
So it was a revenge. What was it? Beyond the grave kill. So well done, me.
What have you played anything else?
No.
I have played Assassin's Creed Origins, and I have been playing Divinity with Mindblower.
Very good.
Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition is so we found a sneaky way of stealing absolutely everything that isn't nailed down.
Yeah.
I have a point in lockpick, and that's the skill.
Okay.
And Mindblower has a point in charm, persuade, something like that,
Yeah.
charisma. So he talks to people while they're got their back to me.
And you pickpocket them.
No, I take everything from the room. I open all the chests, wardrobes, desk, everything. I'll go through shut doors and take everything from the next room, everything. And he distracts them. There was one point where he kept a guy distracted on a different floor of the house because the game lets you go to different floors of the house. If you're in a building, you can go to different floors. And it was hilarious. We have checked the monies and since realised that I have nearly 5,000 gold and he has just over 2,000 because I'm the one stealing everything.
Well, that's only fair.
It's only fair. I'm the one taking all the risk. But he has a nasty habit of. We've sort of split the roles. He's a ranged attacker, as is. He has some attacks for melee, but he's a ranged. We use him as a ranged attacker, and you use like a bow and arrow or a staff for casting spells and that sort of thing, and he'll heal up. And he's partnered with the archer. We're going to replace her with a wizard that we've just found because she just goes pew pew pew. She can shoot a lot during one move, but other than that, she can't do anything. So she's a little bit limited. And I'm partnered with a two-handed weapon expert just like me, so we form like the front line.
Yeah.
But when my brother's exploring, he has this nasty habit of deciding he should be the one in front. So we keep getting into fights where he is 10 foot further ahead and is it between me and the enemy. And yet I'm the one who's supposed to be in front of him, protecting him from the enemy.
Not
Because
exactly the best idea.
Yeah, because I'm melee, he's range. But he's closer and I'm miles away. I'm having to like throw my sword and my spoons and I've got a bucket, I'll lob that.
You throw the kettle.
I think I've got a cooking pot I could throw. It's just, the game's really free. It lets you do whatever you want, but he's not quite... See, I watch a lot of D&D. He's not grasping this concept that that you have to live the tactics.
Yeah.
You can't just employ them once a fight starts. You have to live them. If you walk out in front of me and you don't have the ability to disarm a trap, you'll set it off, which he did, and he killed himself twice. If you walk out in front and we get attacked, they'll hit you first and I'll have to take 2 turns to get to them, which happened. And if you run through a fire, it will set you on fire. So wait for it to burn itself out.
Did he not do that?
No.
Did he run into the fire?
Yes.
Did he catch fire?
Yes.
Did he die?
Yes.
Was that the only time?
Because he's not used to it, I've been granting him the slack of loading it back up whenever he runs straight into a fight. And he has started to get better because he doesn't like it. He doesn't like when we reload it. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Because he wants to just play the game. But it's my way of sort of like bopping him on the nose. Like, I know you don't like having to reload it. So stop doing it. Stop walking out and forcing me to reload it because we're just getting into fights we can't handle. And he has started to go, wait, you go first.
Well, he's learning then.
Yeah. When it comes to Assassin's Creed Origins, to be honest, Divinity's a lot of fun with my brother. It's hilarious. When it comes to Assassin's Creed Origins, I got to that point before I was telling people about, or not, I can't remember, where the game sort of gives you 4 or 5 missions that are running in a row.
Yeah.
And I sort of worked that out because I thought it was the approach to the end of the game because it said you will be forced to go to Alexandria. Do you want to do this? And it gave me a yes or no option, which I had never done for a mission before. So I thought, right, this is the run to the end. Turns out it wasn't. It was just a few missions tied together that you have to complete in a row. But it was telling me that it was, do you want to do it or not? Because you've got quite a bit of freedom. You can start a mission and then go and do another one and come back. But when this starts, you can't. You have to just play the mission you've got in front of you and run through it.
Yeah.
So I've got through that section and I'm out the other side and I'm back to being able to explore. And there's a few missions left in the game, but I am close to the end. And I'd have to say that while it doesn't bite into its character or its story anywhere near as much as it should, it doesn't do a terrible job. It's just not as good as it could have been. The setting, the design, all of that is beautiful. I think the world works perfectly. I think the side missions are a bit repetitive and simplistic. They're very go here and kill these people and then come back with my,
Hmm.
pair of socks that they stole. But it sort of makes sense. They didn't pack it with like regenerate. I can't remember what they're called. Like, oh, the stuff that procedurally generated stuff.
Uh,
Like missions that just spawn in constantly, so you can never
okay.
do all the side missions. You can get there's like 100 side missions, but you can do them all,
Hmm.
and they're not ridiculous. And there are some of them are great, and some of them are okay, and some of them are just bleh. But you can do them, and so that's all right. They could have made that system much worse. But in honesty, and I like the exploring. See, the exploring, finding the tombs, going through the tombs, brilliant.
Yeah.
Gameplay mechanics, bad.
Is this sorry, are we still on Assassin's Creed Origins here?
Yeah.
Yeah, just want to double check that.
It's just honestly, especially combat, it's very much a case of if you're going to make a system so that it's not a combo fighter, right?
Yeah.
Like Batman is. But you're going to have things like when somebody does a certain attack, you have to make a certain response. And you have to do it within a certain time, a certain moment in the fight, otherwise it won't work. You have to give the person the information of what they need to do. You need to give the person the information of when they need to do it. You need to give the person the information of how they have to do it. And then you have to give the person the ability to do it.
Yes.
And you have to give them the ability to do it in a timely manner. In other words, if they press the button, the thing happens. I was
Hmm.
complaining before that I was playing the game faster than the game was playing
Yeah,
itself.
I remember you saying.
And that's basically what's wrong, is that I remember one guy was running up to me, and normally when they run up to you, they immediately do an attack. So I
Yeah.
thought, right, I've got a big heavy weapon. If you press the heavy attack button, it does a block first, and then it does the heavy attack. That block has to be perfectly timed, even though you're not actually pressing the button to do a block, you're wanting to do an attack. You have to perfectly time it, and it's like slightly before the person's going to attack, right?
Okay. What happens if you don't perfectly
They
time it the
just hit
same
you.
right.
Now, if you're too late, they hit you, and that's that. If you're too early, they hit you, and that's that. When this guy came running up, normally it's immediately into an attack. I timed it perfectly. He ran up to me, stopped, looked at me, and then stabbed me. It was
That's
almost
just
as if he was buffering his attack in,
yeah.
you know? And I thought, what am I supposed to do with that?
It
There's
makes no
so many
sense.
times you press X to dodge, and the game just says, wait, now you can dodge. Oh, it's too late. Or you bash X 400 times to get him to dodge, and it dodges 400 times. And you're like, mate, I just wanted him to dodge straight away, but you can't rely on this game, so you have to press the button more than once. So he's now dodging around the map, rolling about the place like Sonic, like a drunk Sonic. It's just, it's.
That sounds incredibly infuriating.
They've tried to make The Witcher. That's what I understand they've done here, and it's not worked. There's just a real issue when it comes to what they've actually tried to do. Where like that system has to be informative, responsive, sharp,
Yeah.
and it has to be described to the player so they know what they're doing, explained. It isn't any of them.
When did this game come out again?
16, I think.
So it wasn't that
Maybe
long ago.
17.
So not that long ago. So yeah, it should be sharp. It should be crisp. It should work.
17, 2017. 9 out of 10 on Steam. 93% of people like this game. It gets good ratings. 4.6 out of 1,317. It gets good ratings, but I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty and it is not sharp.
Could it possibly be your console? Do you think that's what the problem is?
An Xbox One S, it should be fine. Xbox One S came out in Xbox One was announced in 2013 and get released in late 2013. So its first run was 2014, and the S, and I know I think it's 16. I just wanted to make sure. Released on 2016. Yeah, it's 2016.
So it should be crisp. It should work.
It
But
should
better
work.
than that.
And it's just not. I'm sure the game is a lot funner to play on easier difficulty. My idea is unless you put in something stupid like Iron Man, I want to play on a harder difficulty. And frankly, or permadeath, ugh. But if it's Assassin's Creed Origins, I want to play it on the hardest difficulty if you're going to bother to put difficulty modifiers in. I think this is the first time they actually did that. And they just got it wrong.
Well, maybe
Difficulty's fine. It's just not quite responsive enough to play.
maybe you should try playing it on one of the lower difficulties then, and see if the response time's the
I
same.
might do that when I've finished the game,
Yeah.
but if I'm being honest, I think that it's either poorly coded
Hmm.
from that point of view, or it's poorly coded for that difficulty from that point of view.
Yeah.
But it's still like it just. I know that people will say, "Well, it's the hardest difficult." Of course, it's going to be difficult. If I press the X button, I should be dodging.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't. You've got to make it playable. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh well, this is going to be blah 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 blah." You can't do that
No.
because it's got to work. You've got to know what you need to do, how to do it, when to do it, and what to do, and be able to do it. And it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work
Full
every
stop.
time. Basically, it's see when it works. It's a lot of fun to play. See when you're starting to get into it, but see once you get. I was in a fight and surrounded by like what I thought were civilians who then attacked me. It happens in a lot of Assassin's Creed games where you get ambushed
Yeah.
because it's going to happen, and I've never experienced it where I was dead before I realized I was being attacked because they ambushed me. All four around me, and because it's not a combo fighter game, you can't get out of that because dodge into somebody and you end up just stuck there. They
Yeah.
all punched me and I died. Second time attempting it, I performed a surge attack, like an adrenaline surge attack,
Mhm.
and then it stopped. My character just stood there and was looking around, and I thought, oh, I've hit a cutscene. Oh no, wait, they're still moving. I tried to move it, I couldn't move, and I just got punched to death. Game bugged, wouldn't let me move. I managed to win that fight, got on my camel, went for a wee ride, got attacked by somebody who was on fire. I killed him easily, but do you remember one of the problems I told you about being on fire in this game?
I can't remember.
You can't put the fire out manually. You have to just let it burn and hope you survive.
That makes no sense. You should be at least allowed to like stop, drop, and roll or something,
Yep. Or pat yourself
or
down.
like potion, take a potion or something like that.
Or when you dodge and he does the roll around the ground, maybe put some of the fire out. As it was, I was sat there on the back of my camel, the both of us on fire, and I just had to watch while the health bar drained, and I died. I couldn't do a thing.
See, I hate it. I hate when that happens. So that's all we have for you today. There's no stories for you guys.
Nice.
We shall talk about it maybe next week.
Nain.
So, if you like what you heard and you'd like to hear more, you can always subscribe to the channel. You can hit the like button, hit the notification button for when we upload. You can hit the share button. That'd be fantastic. You can leave some comments down below. We love all comments. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com. All that information is going to be left in the description box down below. And all that's left for me to say is thank you very much for listening and being patient while we discussed many things that were nothing to do with gaming. Mainly Mark Hamill and DC.
I think we just turned up today and decided we want to have a conversation and just did, and then that happened.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Organic podcasting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And Abigail's very tired. But I think we both concluded that Mark Hamill is a fantastic voice actor.
And Kevin Conroy.
We didn't talk about Kevin Conroy.
Pretty sure we did.
Did we?
Maybe not by name, but we spoke about the voice acting in the animated series for
Yes.
Batman. And
Yes, we did.
he was also in that video I sent you, which was funny.
I didn't fully understand it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I kind of understand it now, but
Yeah, he's the voice actor. Kevin Conroy is the voice. He's the voice of Batman. It's as simple as that. People have done really good jobs as Batman, but he's the best one.
okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. He's
So-
the one who came up with the idea that Batman should have two voices.
Oh, you mean one is Bruce Wayne and one is
Aye.
Batman?
Aye.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like you being at a function and Bruce Wayne's there, and then you meet Batman. You're like, these two sound very similar.
Yeah. It's a bit like if I just dropped out of the sky dressed up as Batman, right? All right, Hen?
Why does nobody recognize Superman without his glasses? This is one of the greatest questions of all time.
That it's not actually. Apparently that's a psychological phenomenon because he's all sort of like. Apparently that's a psychological phenomenon, and because he's all sort of quiet and a bit shy and withdrawn, a little bit nervous, they don't attach the two people at all.
They look exactly the same.
Well, yeah, but actors can act two different parts and look entirely different as people.
I suppose.
Anyway,
So, like I said, thank you guys so much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.